You know what we should do? We should hit record.
Good thinking.
Yeah. Still need to shower.
Yeah, that's a
Fucking gross. Is that the back-to-back World War champs? Sure.
Yeah, it is. Another old favorite.
I just have one question for you.
Are you a gang rapist?
Oh yeah.
I had to rip out one solo. I just need to find a way to fit it in. I guess that works kind of with it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, can one person be a gang rapist though? I mean,
Yeah.
you need like a gang.
Well, maybe he's a rapist of gangs.
Oh shit! I never thought of that.
That's how much of a rapist he is. He actually rapes gangs.
He's hard on crime.
Yeah. He's who's going to combat MS-13.
He's gonna rape them. Rape them back.
All right. I really think I think we could handle this with like very little prep because I mean really all day we prepped listening and watching that shit.
Oh.
All right, let's do it. Soundboard's gonna crash. Okay, we good? What is going on? Welcome to the Kelly Pamphlet on Kelly Digital. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. Also hit up the website kellydigital.com or kellydigitalpodcast.com. Kelly Digital won't take you to us, but Kelly Digital Podcast will. Adam, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I got to be honest. Over the last few weeks, this show just it seems hard to do with the way the news is. I don't know about you, but the nonsense with Kavanaugh has just been insane. Did you watch the hearings today?
Yeah, I did. It's crazy. I mean,
How much of it did you watch?
A lot because I was home. I had to do all this paperwork, so I just have one screen with it on and one screen where I was working.
Dude, do you want a cat?
Hell no.
Fuck, I can't get rid of that thing.
Good. You're as bad as Quaid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched a good bit of it, and it's embarrassing. Not so much for the either person, that Ford or Kavanaugh, but it's just embarrassing that our Senate is senators. Yeah, like this is actually going on.
Dude, it's not even just like the Senate. Like I thought it was just Democrats that were in power that were this annoying. But really, it's not. It's really just becoming left in general.
Yeah.
Shit show. I don't understand. Like, Senator Feinstein opened her shit with, she made a comment like, the Republicans want to act like the burden of proof is on you. And she said this to the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Well, that's what happens when you accuse someone of something.
Yeah. It's like you can't prove a negative. You know, like I can't prove I didn't eat pizza for dinner tonight. Now there's chicken wings in my garbage can, or wing bones in there, so you can prove that I had wings for dinner tonight.
Yeah,
but it's the thing. Like proof exists in the positive, not in the negative. You can't. Well, he did have a little proof, that calendar, which is kind of nerdy.
Well, it wasn't just that. Yeah, I mean, that's a super nerdy thing, but I guess it's kind of like a journal, though. as well. It's a calendar journal. So every day, Kavanaugh, like his dad started doing it in 1978. And as a kid, like ninth grade, eighth grade or something, he started doing it. You know, it was his dad's thing because his dad would sit down and he would, at the end of the year, Christmas or something, he'd go through it and talk about like the highlights of his year with people, in his family. And so Kavanaugh started doing it. I mean, maybe fortunately for him, he started doing it because he basically kept track of every day of his life. And that summer in particular, he had pretty good records on what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was out of town a lot of it. This woman, this Ford, she's accusing him of basically pushing her in a room with another guy and like holding her down and dry humping her, essentially. And he is completely denying it. There was 3 other people that she named that said that she said that were there, and all 3 of them, including one of her lifelong like good friends, all say that this never happened. That to me is enough. But then the guy has these journal entries where it never states he was at this party at this location, or none of those people live in the area because they had a map. She looked at a map and basically pointed out where it was. And she's like, no one that you're saying was at that party was at that house.
Yeah.
Or lives in that house ever.
She doesn't remember whose house it was. She doesn't remember the day it happened. She doesn't remember how she got to the party. She doesn't remember how she got home from the party.
Yeah, because she was 15 at the time, I think, and she couldn't drive. Yeah. She said she only had 1 beer, so she like basically got rid of that whole defense that like, I was drunk. But then again, that makes her like, it makes it harder for her to explain why she doesn't remember these things on this event that is so traumatic in her life that she's been like devastated about it for the last 36 years.
Now, the thing with that is like, okay, I would be almost willing to like, give her that admission of memory lapse. The one that really like caught me off guard was when they're like, "Oh, so when did you have the polygraph test?" She's like, it was, it was either this day right after my grandma's funeral or the next day."
Or no, the day of the grandmother's funeral.
Yeah.
She's taking a polygraph.
And like, we're not talking this happened 35 years ago. And it was like her grandmother's funeral. We're talking middle of August.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago. Remember. Yeah, that's crazy to me. Yeah, like it is insane. Like, okay, I've never taken a polygraph. If I did, I would remember it. And I would remember what went on that day. When my grandparents died, I remember that too. When I'm at their funeral, that's something that I remember. If both of those things, those are lifetime milestones, or I don't want to say milestones, but like events. If they both happen on the same day, I would think that you would remember they happened on the same day.
Yeah, you absolutely would. Here, another thing she was questioned on was they had to move the hearing to today. They wanted to initially do it on Monday, but she said she couldn't make it because she had a fear of flying.
Yes.
We're going to get this video shot. It's probably going to start with an ad, so we'll probably have to
deal with that. So let's see, because I kind of forgot about this one.
May I ask, Dr. Ford, how did you get to Washington?
In an airplane.
Okay. I asked that because it's been reported by the press that you would not submit to an interview with the committee because of your fear of flying. Is that true?
Well, I was hoping that they would come to me, but then realized that was an unrealistic request.
It would have been a quick.
Actually, that's not true. They actually offered to come to her.
Yeah.
And do it at her home.
And Lindsey Graham will get into that a little bit later, but yeah, basically.
So moving on from that.
Trip for me.
Yes. So that was certainly what I was hoping, was to avoid having to get on an airplane, but I eventually was able to get up the gumption with the help of some friends and get on the plane.
Because she's afraid of
When
flying.
you were here in the mid-Atlantic area back in August, end of July, August, how did you get here?
Also by airplane. I come here once a year during the summer to visit my family.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not here. I go to Delaware.
Now, I will say, as someone who, lives away from home, I'm not very comfortable with flying, but I make myself go.
Mhm.
If I was called by Congress, I wouldn't have an issue with getting on an airplane.
Yeah.
But I get the idea of still being afraid to fly and having to fly once a year because you have to see your family. But it gets worse for her.
Okay. In fact, you fly fairly frequently for your hobbies, and you've had to fly for your work. Is that true?
Correct, unfortunately.
You were a consulting biostatistician in Sydney, Australia. Is that right?
I've never been to Australia, but the company that I worked for is based in Australia, and they have an office in San Francisco, California.
Okay.
I don't think I'll make it to Australia.
It is long. I also saw on your CV that you list the following interests of surf travel, and you, in parentheses, put Hawaii, Costa Rica, South Pacific Islands, and French Polynesia. Have you been all to those places
Correct.
by airplane?
Yes.
And you're
What the fuck?
So she was been to all these other Asian islands just around Australia, but never made it there. That's way too far.
Way too far. That extra, 2-3 hours is just ridiculous. Like, how do you sit there with a straight face and go, yeah, I'm afraid to fly? I had to work up enough gumption to fly out here for this. Seriously? Did you?
Yeah.
You have to go through this 4 times a year when you go on
No.
exciting travels?
It had nothing to do with fear of flying. She's been basically being prepped for the last 60 days for this moment. And she just wanted more and more time. She wanted more of the Republican cards laid on the table before she actually showed up. She wanted to see what Kavanaugh was going to do or say, because that's really dictating her story at this point. And I mean, I know these people, no one on the cable news wants to really criticize her because she's, potentially a victim. But you know what? If we're living in this world, I mean, there's been 3 women who've come out and said something like this, and 2 of them today. Okay. And the one is literally like a complete nut job. Kavanaugh's never even met her before. And she said that she was at 10 gang rape parties, and Kavanaugh was at these gang rape parties waiting in line in high school to rape girls, and she was at 10 of them. She didn't just go to 1 and see this. She went to 10 of them, and she possibly was raped by him too, but she doesn't know because she was drugged.
You think after 7 you might tell somebody that this is going on.
Okay, after 1, you're probably not going to go to parties with these guys anymore.
Yeah.
They're partying a little too hard.
Fucking Brett Kavanaugh, a.k.a. Bryce from 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, but another thing that he got into, because he's kind of put into a corner where he has to get into. Okay, you're talking about a guy, just to state some of his credentials, okay? He went to a very affluent private school in the D.C. area, okay? He was the valedictorian. He played sports. He played basketball, football, other sports. He obviously kept track of his every single day for the last 38 years or so in a diary calendar, which is weird, but that just shows what kind of organization this guy has going on in his head. Gets into I think Yale. Where did he go to college? Where did he go to his undergrad? Did he go Yale undergrad?
That's where he pulled his dick out at a party.
Yeah, but what I'm just saying, he got into Yale, didn't have any type of, he wasn't a legacy or anything like that. No one in his family was a Yale graduate. Gets into Yale Law School. Again, he's tops of his class and all these things, working hard. I mean, they make him out to be 15 years old, being hammered drunk. all day long. And now I know the dude does like to have a drink or two.
Yeah, he didn't do himself any favors when it comes to well,
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer. You've probably had beers, Senator.
Each week, Ralph Club, biggest contributor.
You know, I got a weak stomach, whether it's with beer. I like
You haven't
beer.
answered that.
I like beer. I don't know if you do.
Okay.
Do you like beer, Senator? What do you like?
Next one.
Hanging out and having some beers with friends, which I gladly do and which I fully embrace.
that's from Deadspin.
Yeah. He did like to crack a cold one with the boys.
He sure does. He likes his beer.
Yeah.
Hey, would you have a beer with Brett Kavanaugh? I would.
Yeah, it sounds like he's a good time. But
Actually, currently my Twitter poll.
You drink on weekdays, yes or no, sir?
Whoops.
In the summer,
Oh, Cory Booker.
when we went over
This is
to
Cory Booker's, ain't it?
Timmy's house.
yeah, it is.
Good. I can save this one for later.
Yes, in other words, that
Stop
July 1st.
fucking playing.
Yeah, Cory Booker. I mean, basically, the 2020 Democrat lineup is questioning him. You know, I'm talking about presidential candidates for the Democrats. Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, every other idiot on the planet, basically. Anyone who wants to make a statement. And, like,
Yeah, good.
I wouldn't say their questioning of him, nothing was really revealed or interesting other than the way he came out. Because this Ford woman who's accusing him of this, she basically, like I said that him and another guy were drunk and they were like holding her on a bed, dry humping her. The other guy was laughing or something.
Yeah.
And the other guy and the other 2 or 3 people that were at the party don't ever remember even having this party. So basically the whole her whole interview was actually done by a prosecutor, a female prosecutor who handles sexual assaults.
Horrible decision by the Republicans.
Maybe. Now, what she has basically interviewed or basically prosecuted or had these people on stand like for sexual crimes. That's pretty much her specialty. Yeah. So the Republicans went that route. The woman didn't really dig in much. She did get some information that was critical later on, I think. But at the same time, it wasn't a very hard thing for this woman to do. Like, she wasn't grilled. Like, if she was on trial and there was a defense attorney going after her, it would be a whole lot different story. And I think if the shoe was on the other foot, I think if this was a Republican woman saying this about a Democratic man, it would be a totally different story just because of the nature of the two parties. But I think it was actually didn't play into the whole Me Too thing. Alyssa Milano sitting behind them, just waiting for, them to offend this woman and make it, so they could make a scene about it. I didn't think they fed that monster. I think by having that woman and handling her with this Ford woman with like kid gloves, it almost negated what they were trying to do, I think.
Yeah, it seemed like the strategy the Republicans had going into it was they were going to give the inch of, yeah, we believe you were sexually assaulted. We don't believe it was this guy. So they didn't push her hard. They pushed her on basically memory issues, which when did you get your lawyer? I don't remember. How are you paying for your lawyer? I don't remember. How did you get a ride home? I don't remember. When did you take the polygraph test? I don't remember. Mm-hmm. Like, she really didn't remember shit. Yeah.
She didn't. Okay, this is the problem with the way they did it. From my criticism of the GOP or the Republican side of this, that council, when she wasn't sure about something, and you could tell it was kind of like her bullshit excuse to get out of it, because that's what people do. They say they can't remember. No one really pushed her on it. They just kind of let her say that. Now, there was a lot of shit that. Okay, the whole, I'll just tell you this. because this is the gist of the Democrats' whole thing. They're basically trying to spring up all this stuff to delay as much as they can. They want to delay this vote that's going to happen.
Right.
If they can't get rid of Kavanaugh, they're going to delay until at least as long as they can. They're going to try to do it till midterms or maybe even 2020. That would be their goal. They've said it before they even said Kavanaugh was the guy.
Yeah.
So as part of that, you know, they basically spring this woman onto this hearing. You know, Kavanaugh, I think they said he testified in front of the Senate in open session and private session more than every other Supreme Court nominee ever, everyone combined. So basically, he's spent more time in front of them where they can question him about everything. And no one has ever brought this up, which, hey, it just came out a couple weeks ago. This happened. But
it happened 10 days ago, it broke.
Yeah, but Dianne Feinstein, the minority leader,
The snake,
she has known about this and has been holding this in her back pocket for over 60 days. That's over 2 months that she's had this waiting there.
Yeah,
She's questioned.
she
has had this the ability to question Kavanaugh on this multiple times. And supposedly this Ford woman, when she wrote this letter through her congressperson, to Dianne Feinstein, essentially she wanted to be private, is what she said. So
I'm calling bullshit on that too.
Well, obviously, but let's just say that is the case. She said that she only gave it to her congressman and Feinstein and her 2 attorneys. The 2 attorneys said they didn't leak it to the press. And then, so that just leaves the congressman and Feinstein. Someone leaked this to the press. And then that's what caused this whole thing to happen. Right. Because they painted themselves into a corner a bit. But I think it's all strategy. They just wanted to hold off. It was just like holding the reins back on the horse until they get to the final stretch. Whenever they're just about to do their vote on Kavanaugh, they've done all the hearings. And then they're saying, okay, we got him now.
Now we got this.
Monkey wrench thrown right into the into the whole system. So the whole time, she's up there, she gives her testimony, and the Republicans don't even question her. They have some prosecutor that is just like almost like a neutral party question her. Now they probably gave her the questions, but they're not criticizing of this. The woman's supposedly a victim of something. But they go through her whole thing. So they take about a 40-minute break, and then Kavanaugh comes out. And I was like, this is because if I were him, I'd be super pissed, especially if this didn't happen. Obviously it didn't happen. He comes out. He looked mad. Like, he looked straight up mad before they even started. And he came out like firing guns blazing. And it was pretty wild. I mean, that was probably one of the wildest things I've seen in these Senate hearings. I've watched a lot of them, but for a guy he basically called out the Democratic Party, the left wing politics that's caused this, and he said he's never done anything like this. The guy even said he had his V card until after college, so he wasn't involved in these gang rapes, and he wasn't involved in this sexually assaulting these women or this woman. So it's wild.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. The reason why I call bullshit on her, though, as far as not wanting to come out with this. So she fucking doesn't want this to come out. She wants this to be anonymous. She writes the letter. And then after she writes the letter, she gets a lawyer, and she gets it from Dianne Feinstein. She gets the recommendation from Feinstein's office. Yeah,
you could actually play the Lindsey Graham tape a little bit if you wanted to. I don't know if you pulled that.
Yeah.
He kind of breaks down that aspect of it.
Yeah, we did. I'm getting the spinny ball death, so we're not going to. But okay, so she gets the lawyer. And then
Feinstein's lawyer.
Yeah. Then she takes a polygraph test. Now, if she wanted to remain anonymous the whole time, why did she already have the polygraph test? Why did she lawyer up? If she thought it was just going to be write a letter and be done with it, don't confirm this guy because he's a rapist. No, she knew this was going to break.
Absolutely, because that was the plan.
Yeah. So, so Graham, here's a little bit of Graham.
Did you meet with Senator Dianne Feinstein on August 20th?
I did meet with Senator Feinstein.
Did you know that her staff had already
This was to Kavanaugh. Sorry.
Ford?
I did not know that.
Did you know that her and her staff had this allegations for over 20 days?
I did not know that at the time.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsay said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy.
First off, fuck your bitch in the
Damn it, these slippy fingers.
Well, the whole time, so essentially when Kavanaugh comes out, the Republicans, they question him and let him basically give his side of the story. Because they go 5 minutes back and forth. One senator and then back to another senator. I mean, this is all day shit. So the Democrats, pretty much every single one of them said, if you wanted to have this cleared up, why don't you just tell the president to do an FBI investigation for this? But the problem is, the problem with
Dick Durbin, and that was clever. I'm not gonna lie, that was a clever fucking move right there.
Yeah, but it's not, and I can tell you why. Because it's okay. If you have if he says, yeah, let's do an FBI investigation, the FBI is going to talk to her, and they're going to have the same questions that everyone just heard her say for the last 4 hours.
Right.
So nothing new is going to come of it. But what it will do is it will grind this whole thing to a halt, and the guy will never get in. So it would be stupid for him to do that. Now there was 4 or 5 of them said, yeah, you should ask for this, and they basically said, well, the FBI report it's not to find anyone guilty. All it's going to do is question her, and then we're going to get it and read it. We have her here. We questioned her. We're doing basically exactly what you're saying the FBI should do. So
yeah, exactly. No, don't get me wrong. It wasn't. I don't think it's a good idea that the FBI would, the FBI investigation, he should carry that on. But he comes out and he says, I welcome any investigation. And Dick Durbin saying, oh, you do you? Well, tell them that you want an investigation and we could stop this whole thing. That was a clever move by Dick Durbin.
Yeah, but well, I'm not saying it wasn't, but you can't expect the guy to say, oh yeah, I'm 1 day away from being voted onto the Supreme Court, and oh yeah, wait, let's hold this up for a 2-year long. How long has the Mueller investigation been going on? A year and a half, almost 2 years. So what are we gonna? That's exactly what they want. That would be exactly what the Democrats want, and he knows. Kavanaugh knows that.
Yeah, I hate to click on a HuffPo YouTube video to give him clicks, especially considering they gave the title "Kavanaugh Opens Testimony with Tantrum," but I think it'll be the stripped down version of the good stuff. So, we got an ad.
Don't stand in a park with a sign. Who does that? Explain your business with a high-quality whiteboard and animated video from Fiverr.
Okay, let's skip that shit.
This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit.
Oh, fuck you.
Less than 2 weeks ago, Dr. Ford publicly accused me of committing wrongdoing at an event.
Never mind.
Yeah,
but definitely watch his opening remarks because he comes in guns a-blazing. He's furious. He's pissed, but he also gets pretty emotional because see, this is why you can't #believe survivors all the time, because when it's not true, the damage it does to innocent people, and not just the the innocent guy that's accused, but the family, the children of the guy, the parents of the guy. It's horrible, and it destroys lives. And that's what he said. This has destroyed my family. It's destroyed my name forever. And it's horrible. And for this all hashtag believe survivors bullshit. Okay. Duke Lacrosse. Does that ring a bell? What about the UVA rape case that was in Rolling Stone magazine? That was such great journalism that everybody in the world stopped everything that they were doing and talked about how this showed everything wrong with college campuses nowadays. And it turned out every fucking word of the story, 800 words, was a lie. A flat out lie.
I mean, if you look at just the Duke lacrosse team, it's like, holy shit. It's crazy what that did to those guys' lives. And they didn't do it. And the woman admitted that after all this shit happened, she admitted that none of that stuff happened. She made it up, blah, blah, blah. But these guys, but as soon as that came, because they were a bunch of white guys at a, they were, exactly what everyone hates.
Yeah.
White, single, straight males. I mean,
and rich because they went to Duke, so they had money.
Rich Duke kids. So they ran with that story. Everyone ran with that story, and they destroyed those people's lives. I mean, they did. And the kids are still. I mean, they're not kids; they're adults. They're probably our age, but it ruined the. I mean, some of that stuff went on like for years.
Oh yeah.
So
not a single apology issued to them. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson down there preaching all their fucking bullshit.
ESPN and ESPN and CNN and everybody covering it too.
And then once it came out, oh, this is a bullshit story. There was no, hey, sorry, we wrecked your lives. It was, oh, all right, so we're just not going to talk about this story anymore.
Yeah.
So we totally destroyed these people's lives. Now we're moving on.
You know, it's funny. Now, this is so dumb, but it's so true. And I don't know when this was from, because I just flipped through and watched clips on Instagram, like, like not even things I follow, just like memes and videos and stuff. Yeah. And one of them was SpongeBob. And I never saw the episode. And I haven't watched SpongeBob for a long, long time. But it was basically Mr. Krabs started a newspaper, and SpongeBob was like his reporter. And SpongeBob would go out and take pictures for him. And then they would basically make up a story. And what it was doing is each one of these stories was ruining every character that they focused on's life, basically. And now they did it in a funny way, but it was like crazy whenever you think about how all this shit can get out of hand so easily. And it was, so popular. And I know this is stupid to compare SpongeBob to this, but it was just funny. You know what I mean? That was a story, and I just happened to see it last night. But
it's very accurate to it, though. I mean, this, that doesn't matter. Look at Clarence Thomas, who has been one of the most respected members on the Supreme Court in, the last 100 years. He will always be known as the guy that asked about a pubic hair on a Coke can.
Yeah.
We're still hearing about the Anita Hill hearings, which is also just total bullshit.
And then Blumenthal, his last question to Kavanaugh was, "Do you believe Anita Hill?"
Yeah, I heard that.
It's like,
no, I don't. Actually, I don't.
He didn't respond to it.
No, he didn't. He has more tact than I do.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, what was he? In 1991, he was probably, he wasn't that old.
Beer.
Yeah, he was just having some beers with cracking some cold ones with the boys.
Lifting weights. Dude loved to lift weights and drink beer.
Yeah, it's pretty much all he did.
all summer of 82, him and Uncle Rico just crushing beers. And
yeah, he was at the library. This is pretty hard to fit in a rape between him being at the library, basketball practice, lifting weights, football practice, and cracking cold ones with the boys.
Yeah.
Kid had a pretty busy life. But
he also was the head of the or one of the best buffers.
What do you like?
Judge, have you, I don't know if it's buffed or boofed. How do you pronounce that?
That refers to flatulence. We were 16.
Okay. And so when...
Yeah, that was
they're basically going through
big harder.
Yeah, they're basically going through Kavanaugh's yearbook and everything that anyone wrote in there. They scrutinized it. And actually there were some news stories that insinuated that one of their friends, because they went to an all-boys school, Kavanaugh was still friends with her to this day. She signed the book or something, and someone wrote alumni underneath of it, or alumnus. And the newspapers, media all ran with it saying she's an alumnus, meaning they had sex with her.
Yeah.
But Kavanaugh was like super pissed about that because, that was one of his closest friends his entire lives. And he basically said, no, she hung out with us. She wasn't able to go to our school because she went to an all girls school. We went to an all boys school. And we just said she's like one of us. And, but I mean, they kept insisting on asking him about the sexual innuendo or relationship that went on, and he kept saying that's not what that means. And that's the same with like boofing or whatever the hell he's talking about, and like they're asking him about it, and it's like you have to like there's some some slang from when these guys were like 15 years old that's in front of Senate, and they're trying to dissect it like that.
Dude, it was the biggest joke you could ever imagine, and this is what this is our government now.
And I don't want to sound negative, but I'm telling you, between Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, one of those two, if the Democrats win in 2020, they're going to be your president.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the biggest jokes on this whole thing.
This is seriously what we have to look
having
for.
Spartacus moments, bro.
Just over and over. This is what we have to look forward to for the next 2 years.
I'm starting to think that we have to look forward to this forever now. Like news is, I mean, I'm saying like it's like 24/7 bombardment of political bullshit.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's only going to get worse. I'm telling you, the next 2 years, the Democrats are going to win back the House in November. Trump will be impeached next year. That is a foregone conclusion. He will be impeached. He won't get kicked out of office. It's not going to pass through the Senate, but he will be impeached in the House. And he's going to have a challenger. He's going to have a primary challenge. I would guarantee that. I will guarantee John Kasich runs against him. And probably Jeff Flake.
Yeah, I can see Flake.
It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a 2-year shit show is what we're headed for.
And we're already in the shit show. That's been going on for 4 years already.
Dude, it's going to get so much worse. It's going to get so much worse over the next 2 years. I'm telling you, once the Democrats win back the House, it is going to be a spiral down.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why it's important that if you support,
sanity.
Sanity, or if you support the president, you pretty much have to get out and vote.
Yeah.
But see, I really feel like it's not going to be good.
No.
Because the Republicans, typical Republicans, are just, oh, yeah, we're happy because we're satisfied. And the Democrats are like bloodthirsty. They're going to have every dead person, everyone's dead grandmother's going to be voting for the Democrats in their area.
At least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think numbers wise, I don't know. I'd be surprised if the Republicans didn't lose the House. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to keep the House. They might lose the Senate, but that's going to be a little harder for the Democrats, but they will probably lose the House.
So he gets impeached. Maybe you know the rules better than I do. He gets impeached, goes over to the Senate.
Yeah.
What does the vote have to be?
I believe it's a super majority, so they have to have like 67 votes.
Yeah.
So he won't be removed from office.
But for all you younger people, this happened when Bill Clinton was in office. He was impeached. And you think this stuff that we're talking about now is crazy? It's gonna be nuts, because then you're gonna have special counsels and bullshit, and it's basically going to go through as long as Trump's in office. It'll be going on.
Well, Maxine Waters already said that when the Democrats win back the House, they're going to do nothing but investigations into everything.
Yeah.
Everything involving Trump. They're going to do investigations into his old finances, his old contracts, into his election. They're going to investigate every single little aspect of his life. That is what all of your tax dollars are going to go to, is investigating Trump.
What are they going to do to fix all the problems in this country?
They don't give a shit.
They only care about
they're running on impeachment. They're going to win because of what you said, and they're going to impeach him and waste all of our tax dollars doing nothing but bullshit investigations.
Yeah. And then all the problems we have now will be a lot worse. Like, I'm talking about the healthcare issues, any type of deficit. You're trying to get clear way to like try to start solving our deficit problem. That's not going to get any better. And we're just going to continue to have every issue that we have issues with now. They're just going to continue to get worse because they're not going to be doing anything for them.
You think a volatile stock market is going to be good when a president's impeached?
Well, it's going to be very likely that it's going to be extremely volatile. So crazy.
It's already volatile now. It'll drop 400 points in one day. And it bounces right back, but that's volatility.
Yeah.
So what do you think's going to happen when a president gets impeached?
Oh yeah, it's going to be wild. And it's but right now I think the like basically the people of this country, I think they're like I don't know how they term it, but it's basically their approval rating of basically the economy. Do they feel like it's a strong economy? They feel like this is like one of the highest rated they feel the economy's been in years. Yeah. And I think since 2000, something like that, like the public opinion of the economy is the highest like approval rating of it since I think 2000. But if something like that happens, all those positive things got you right down tubes. It's a lot like whenever there's a recession or something, you see how many people lose their jobs. That's serious business, in my opinion. Whenever Bill Maher says that he's praying for a recession, it affects people like extremely negatively. I mean, think about mortgages. Like, you have a job now, but just think if you go in a recession, you lose your job, and then you have a mortgage because you were doing really well.
Yeah.
You have car payments, you have children, you have a wife, and you don't have anything anymore. And then you start losing all this stuff.
Well, I'll still have my podcast, right?
Yeah, but I mean, let's look at it. People were still just now digging themselves out of the recession from 2007, 2008. So now what are we going to just jump right back into this and get screwed over again?
Yeah, Democrats back in power, it'd be worth it to people like Cory Booker and Kamala Harris and Pocahontas.
I just don't. I mean, people are so dumb. I can't believe they think that those people will ever solve any of their problems. They don't even pretend like they're interested in solving your problems anymore.
No.
A lot of politicians will at least lie to you. These people will just flat out say, just like you said, the only reason they're even getting elected is because they want to just impeach Trump.
Yeah.
Peach 45. Peach 45. But so anyways, back to the whole Kavanaugh thing.
Rapist.
Sorry.
What was that? One more time?
Are you a gang rapist?
That was Lindsey Graham. Just confirming that Kavanaugh wasn't a gang rapist. And the reason why I asked that, a woman named Julie Swetnick, sorry. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. She came out this morning and she said, I think I already explained this, that she's been to 10 parties where she was involved, or I guess she was gang raped at one point, maybe a couple of times. But Kavanaugh basically was in line waiting to get through the door to take his turn on these girls.
He took his number.
Yeah.
He didn't
So
he's an honorable man.
yeah, he didn't cut line. But her, this Julie Swetnick, her attorney is Michael Avante, or however you pronounce it. He's Stormy Daniels' attorney.
Yeah, he'll also be running for president too. Did you know that? He's definitely considering a run.
Well, okay, we didn't have a show last week. So there was a lot that went on. And one of the things that went on that was like highlighted on my list, because I'll just start making notes of things throughout the week, was Michael, how do you pronounce his name? Avenatti.
Avenatti, yeah.
So Michael Avenatti, or however you pronounce it, was on Tucker Carlson's show, which I do love Tucker, I have to admit. Yeah. But I don't know if you have this queued up, but basically,
you want to hear it?
Yeah, just play it.
Pretend to be a booker from CNN to get through to you.
You know, that's disgusting. Why don't you show
what's
some
disgusting
respect?
is
why don't you show some respect to my
is
client and me and stop calling us a porn star and a creepy porn lawyer? If you've got that big a problem with porn, do you have that big a problem
I'm
with porn?
not making fun of.
When's the last time? When's the last time you saw porn?
Oh, you busted me. Actually, I made humiliation porn. That's why I watch you on CNN.
Oh, this is up ass. Yeah, easy E, easy E, easy E, get a big fat dick.
Oh fuck! I mean, that clip is classic. So basically, if it went too fast for you, he asked Tucker, "What kind of porn has he ever watched porn?" And Tucker says, "Yeah, I'm into humiliation porn. So that's why I watch you on CNN." And like, that's like the funniest thing, like on a cable news network, I think maybe that I've ever heard. So I don't know. I love that clip. So I had to, even though it's basically like a week and a half old now, I had to have Nick play that one.
Dude, he is the creepiest. He is a creepy porn lawyer, and he will be a presidential candidate in 2020.
Okay, during that segment, this is how fucked up Fox News is, but it's true. You know how like they'll have like the guy's name, like there's a little block at the bottom, and it'll say the name, and then they'll say like a quote that they said.
Yeah,
you know, something. You know, it'll change throughout the show. And towards the beginning, the quote, the big quote, like giant bold letters, it said, "Creepy porn lawyer toying with 2020 run." That's what they had.
Oh, that is fantastic.
That really is. I love that. I really love that.
He's proven to really be a tremendous piece of shit, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, you think he's a creepy porn lawyer, you could trust him, but then he comes out with shit like the the gang rape story, and it's just like he's not a good guy.
Nah. You know, it's funny about the whole if you listen to the Tucker Carlson interview with him, basically Tucker doesn't. He's like, you know what? I feel bad for Stormy Daniels because, you know, you're the one that's making the money off of this.
Right.
You're the one becoming, you're the one using her to become a star.
And she's out there in strip clubs and stuff like that. And he's on CNN.
And he was like pretty pissed about that, but it's true. Yeah. Now he's getting all these other big name or whatever. Big story type of, clients. He's like, what's that woman who, Madeline Albright, or is that who it is? That basically she takes on every case of every woman who's accused of any guy of anything that's famous, basically.
How come she doesn't take on Juanita Broderick's case, though? I just wonder, because she never took that on. It'd be nice for her to take that on, like when Bill Clinton raped her.
Well,
rapist.
Yeah, that is another big story this week. Now, like, I know we've been on Kavanaugh stuff because it's been encompassing the world of news, but Bill Cosby was sentenced and taken to jail. Was it yesterday or the day before? Maybe on Tuesday?
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 3 to 10 years for the rape of that dude, that woman.
The rape of that dude?
Yeah, well, there's kind of some memes going around about her because she looks very odd. Yeah. But so he basically is in jail now. Finally, after this has been 4 years since this has all started, he's finally getting.
That was
put in
4
jail.
years ago.
Yeah, it's 2014 when all this stuff started really breaking.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that long ago.
Yeah, it's
like it seemed like
insane.
yesterday.
Well, it's bad, and I guess this is what happens when you have. You could say white privilege or whatever, but it's rich privilege. If wealth, celebrity privilege, that's really what people have in this country. So Bill Clinton was found guilty of this months ago, but he has not. He has yet to spend he's yet to spend an hour in prison.
Yeah,
they just let him hang out until they decide to sentence him, so he can do whatever he wants. So
yeah, never mind.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a celebrity privilege. Alyssa Milano can scream about white male privilege, but in reality, I mean, look at her. She's Dianne Feinstein's main guest. She's sitting right behind Kavanaugh. I mean, she's of privilege of everything that any other taxpayer, could possibly ever dream of. She gets it. She gets all the access that she ever wants. She has the privilege. Celebrity and wealth, that's where your privilege is. It's not the color of your skin.
And people listen to her, and
oh yeah, she has probably millions of people on Twitter following her dumb posts.
Tell her she's so brave.
Yeah.
She's so brave.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, she's under a little bit of criticism. Did you see that about what she wore? I mean, her titties were like out.
Well, it's her only important asset. Everything else about her could just go away.
I mean, like let's just say she has D cup boobs. She had C and like entire C's out. Like the D was just barely covering her nips. But I mean, I don't care. I don't care what people wear. They can wear whatever they want. But I just think
I approve of that.
To me, she is not an intelligent person. She's not an educated person. She's nothing. She is a TV star. There's not even a TV star anymore. She's just, I don't know what it is. Like, what gives any celebrities any type of knowledge? Yeah, I mean, she gets attention from Dianne Feinstein or any Democrat because she's a celebrity, not because she's actually an intelligent person that could actually make. She's a celebrity who they can push their message through like a little puppet.
D cup tits with an A cup mind.
Yeah, basically training bra mind.
Yeah.
But so she was there. I'm sure she'll be a hero to the left because she sat there for 8 hours, which wouldn't be fun.
I don't know. We sat there and listened to it for 8 hours.
That's true. Oh my god, that went on until like 8 o'clock.
What did you watch on? Did you watch on Fox or?
I watched on YouTube on Fox's. I think it was Fox's live stream of it, but I don't think it's not like they didn't have like it wasn't what they had streaming on TV. It wasn't like there was any comments. No, not on my stream. It just basically was a picture of Kavanaugh, and it said Kavanaugh hearing, and like it would sit there for 45 minutes, because they had breaks quite often. Yeah, and it would just sit there with nothing going on. It wasn't. I actually prefer to watch it like that instead of listening to someone tell me what's going on. I like to watch it and determine what I think's going on. So,
I watched NBC, and you got the talking heads a little bit in between, which it actually wasn't bad. It was pretty well rounded of all opinions.
Yeah,
Megyn Kelly is pretty firmly in the.
You mean May John?
Yeah, she's pretty firmly in the Kavanaugh camp. So having her with like Chuck Todd and Andrea Mitchell could go fucking screw for all I care. I can't stand her. She went to Edinburgh, and since I was a she didn't go to Edinburgh. She like went there to speak, and since I was a broadcast journalism major, I was like required to go. So obnoxious. She just could not get enough of Andrea Mitchell. But that's besides the point. A little sidebar there, but I thought NBC did a pretty good job covering it because they were able to get a good variety of opinions.
Yeah. See, I'd watched zero. Like when I watched the Fox News stream, zero commentary on it at all. None. Zero. All day long. Zero commentary. So I haven't even watched any commentary on this. Everything that I'm saying is from watching it and just thinking to coming up with this shit myself. Maybe someone else picked up on something. I just think that the Democrats are trying to set this up. Okay, so let's just say they're supposed to vote on 9:30 tomorrow morning. They're supposed to vote on Kavanaugh getting in or not.
Wait, is it it's the vote to recommend to the Senate?
Yeah, no. This is, I think, the final vote. They're holding.
I think that's going to go. I think that's going to end up going into the weekend. I think this is the vote because what happens is the Senate Judiciary Committee has to vote to recommend Kavanaugh to the Senate.
Maybe because I thought they were going to. Maybe it was just a vote for the people on that council or whatever. I guess.
Yeah, they're going to vote for the recommendation.
Because maybe I misunderstood it, but I mean they're going to vote tomorrow, and then I guess you'll see from there. But yeah, I mean that does make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's shameful. That's really how I would explain politics in the United States. Shameful. I mean, I saw a meme. Don't ask me where I saw this. It was on Instagram, but someone posted it. Someone who's extremely left, and it was a picture of Kavanaugh at the table, zoomed out so you could see the people on both sides of him. Like behind him, and they all have this terrible look on their face while he's raising hell at the beginning. And it says, yeah, you can see all the women, because it was all women, basically. All the women here saying, nope, Kavanaugh, I think is pound, Kavanaugh. Okay. But every single person in the picture, it was his mom, his wife, his sister, whoever, it was his lawyers. And I mean, basically, they're trying to push that as like, oh, look at all these women are disgusted by him while he's talking. But he's telling the Senate, all this shit that how they're ruining his life, and those people are like literally breaking down tears listening to him talk about how he's having his life ripped apart because this woman's telling this made up story from 36 years ago. And they're pushing it on Instagram or wherever on Huffington Post that, oh, look at all these people disgusted by it, but it's his family and his lawyers and it's just ridiculous. So people are fools.
And also going into our political discourse, and in the same vein, Ted Cruz got chased out of a restaurant this week, kind of like Candace Owens did earlier.
Yeah, I saw that, and I mean they were pretty much right in his face, and I
like how they told him, "We know where you live." And they post this on Twitter, like, we know where you live, you're not safe. I think it was the actual quote. They post this shit on Twitter. Still have an account.
Yep.
It's fine.
No
it's
one's
not a
banned.
problem. Yeah. Ted Cruz, they threaten his life. They threaten his wife. That's fine. Alex Jones gets up in Oliver Darcy's face, banned for life.
You see who else got banned? James Woods.
Is he banned for life? I knew he got suspended.
No, last I saw he was just suspended, but
well, I know Gavin McInnes and Anthony Comey are also banned for life.
Oh, Gavin McInnes banned for life?
Yep.
Holy shit. But yeah, they basically, if you have any type of conservative opinion, like Dana Loesch or how do you pronounce her name? The NRA spokesman. Lash, yeah, sorry. She'll probably end up getting banned. I mean, it's gotta be. Dude, I can't believe she's still on there.
The stuff that gets tweeted to her.
Yeah.
People threaten her kids on a regular basis.
Oh, I know. But she's gonna get banned someday.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised if before the end of Trump's presidency, he gets banned.
Yeah. But I mean,
he'll do it for publicity before he's done.
I'll be honest with you.
Kind of hope he does.
The best thing for Twitter was Trump. Twitter was
absolutely
in the tank. I mean, who the fuck uses Twitter, honestly? Like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, people don't actually go on Twitter and, do anything. They go and look at what's going on with celebrity. And then people were kind of sick of that. They were mostly on Instagram doing that.
Yeah.
And
It's good for
and then
sports.
Trump got on there and started ranting and raving. He was like, this presidential election or presidential elect. Yeah. Oh, whatever. I can't. My brain's not working at this point in the night. But basically, he's the one who brought Twitter back. They should be kissing his ass.
Yeah.
Because without
It's
him,
good for
terrible.
Twitter's good for sports news. But the thing is, sports also, I don't know. Everything's getting so meshed with politics.
I know.
That's where, like, at one point earlier this week, I'm like, man, we should just do like the debate show, or we should change this show to like talking about movies. We can't pay attention to movies that much anymore because all these people are assholes that are in movies.
Yeah.
Same with sports.
Yeah, I know, it's frustrating. Well,
so you might as well talk about the root of the problem.
Yeah, cable news is so fucking annoying. Like, it is. I don't care what channel it is. It's so annoying that people sit on the TV all day long and talk about the same crap that the show in front of them talked about and just tweak their voice and their opinion. I mean, sometimes they have the same people on every show, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they are. It's just, you know what? People need a break from that. That's not healthy for people because, there's people watching that all day long because they're like eating it up, but that's not healthy mentally for them. No. I don't think so. But there was a funny thing that happened too before. Was it Florence? Was that the hurricane that went through the Carolinas? So while that was going on, I think it was like Donald Trump Jr. Somebody tweeted out a picture of Anderson Cooper from a couple years ago. I don't know which Irma.
This was Florence. It was Florence where he was.
Oh, was it? I thought it was from a couple. Oh, okay. I guess I thought it was just some old thing, but basically it was Anderson Cooper, and he did his news report. He has like basically waders on, like chest waders, which are basically rubber. It's like a rubber suit essentially from your collarbones down, and like fishermen wear, people who have to walk through really deep water. As long as it doesn't go over your head, you're fine. But like it keeps you dry from like your chest down. So he's like chest deep of water talking about this hurricane and how bad the flooding is. But then like people had taken pictures of where he was actually standing, and where he was standing was like, it was at least 2 feet lower, like in the ditch off of the road. And like the camera's there, he's in like ankle deep water, and Anderson Cooper is like up to his chest in water because he's standing down. And there was like some really funny videos. There was a fucking dog trying to get him out of there. Like, I don't know, it was just like a helpful dog, and it kept like wouldn't leave him alone. And then he also had was doing interviews with people like locally, and he was making them come down in the water. Like he was talking to like these poor hurricane survivors, and he's making them go all the way down into his little hole that he found. So it looks like he's like interviewing people in 3.5 feet of water, basically, whenever the water was only like 4 inches high.
That's like the weather guy, the Weather Channel. They also got caught doing some bullshit too.
They did.
They had a reporter out there, and like he's acting like the wind's blowing him so hard, and he's losing his balance a little bit, but he's fighting the conditions. I mean, he's really giving it his all.
A lot. It looks like it was like 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, it looked like Helen Hunt and Twister.
Yeah.
What was the other guy? The other guy, like she's a guy. What was the guy's name? Paxton.
Yeah, Bill Paxton. He died,
Yeah.
But Bill
Paxton killed him?
Yeah, basically. That was a real tornado.
Yeah, it was more real than what that dude was standing in.
Yeah.
Like the dude was combating an F5. He's going crazy. All of a sudden, you see just two guys in shorts and a t-shirt just walking behind him.
Yeah, like plain as day, not a problem. Not even like rushing because it's raining so hard. They're just kind of like walking like it was any other day. And like, I mean, that's embarrassing. Because you're the fucking Weather Channel.
Yeah, exactly.
If you'll see the bad weather.
If you guys don't want to be called fake news, stop faking shit.
I know, dude, it's true. But I guess, I'll get to I have a couple of stories we can get to. quick ones. So your boy Cody Wilson, he's the one with plans for the gun, the 3D printed gun.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear about what happened to him?
Yeah, he caught himself a rape rap.
Yeah, 16-year-old.
Well, here's the thing. He went on, I guess, sugardaddy.com.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
She falsely identified herself as being an 18-year-old. She said she was 18 on the site because you have to be 18 to get on that site.
Okay.
So, and yeah, so basically she was whoring herself out because he paid her $500.
Which, I mean, basically, I would assume that's what that site is. It's basically like an escort.
Sugardaddy.com. I don't think you're looking for a soulmate.
No.
And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, you should definitely know the age, but this was a setup job.
Okay, so he had sex with this girl. She's like 16. And then they like put this warrant out for him. And that motherfucker went to Taiwan. He took off.
I don't blame him, dude. The government wants this dude to.
Dude, I hate to like give us too much props. We pretty much called that one. We said this motherfucker's gonna end up in jail for something.
Yeah.
Even if that's not a crime, they're gonna figure something out to get him in trouble. Yeah. And this is it. It was like that was one that I had to bring up this week because I'm thinking, wow, that's exactly what we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks.
Nope.
And in other news, people getting in trouble. Elon Musk is in some trouble. Did you hear about this?
Are you a gang rapist?
Oh, sorry.
he basically well, here, I'll just read this real quick. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, on Thursday charged Tesla CEO this is today, Elon Musk with securities fraud, alleging he misled investors last month in tweets about taking the company private. Essentially, he said something about taking the company private. The price of the stock went up, and basically he's saying he's, I don't know, it's a fraudulent thing. But they actually have says they've charged him with it. So he might be like Martha Stewart, end up in the poke. That's Elon Musk.
And I don't think he was doing that for financial gain.
No, I don't think he even cares.
I think Elon Musk just like he muses out loud.
Yes. And if you have ever listened to Elon Musk, if he's ever said anything about his stock, he has always said this stock is way overvalued. The price of the stock is way too high. He said that a million times. He said this company's not worth what these people are trading it at. But people love the guy. Maybe it's some of his honesty, but I mean, he could get in trouble. I mean, there's all these little slick little laws that these people could get you on. If they want to get you, they'll get you. Like Cody Wilson, they'll get you.
Yep. And Elon Musk started rubbing people the wrong way. I'd say about a year ago. I mean, he started losing favor with a lot of people.
Well, I could tell you why. Trump gets in there. I'm not saying he's Trump's boy, but he's not, you know what I mean? He's not Trump's boy. He has a lot of government contracts for rockets and whatnot. And no matter who was going to be president, he was going to work with them, get along with them. He's not going to say anything bad about him. So I think that annoys a lot of people that he just won't criticize the president.
Yeah.
He just won't do it. And then the whole, submarine in India, or where the hell was that? Pakistan?
That's India. That's
India.
pissed some people off. No, that was in Taiwan.
Thailand.
Yeah. One of the top places.
Fucking Asia.
Crazy little fuckers, man.
Getting trapped in caves. We gotta come bail them out. But and then he called that guy a pedophile.
Which, he wasn't backing off of that either, man.
I know. What was he doing? Why does he just be quiet about that?
Because I don't know. It sounds like he's done or paid to have research done on that dude.
Yeah. He's a lot like Trump. Sometimes you should just ignore the ants that are all around you that would not even get any podium for publicity if it wasn't for Trump or Elon Musk bringing them up
Yeah.
because they're mad about something these people say. Like you don't have to squash them, just ignore them. I should be these people's political advisor, but they just don't listen. They love the limelight, fighting with everyone. Every stupid person who tweets something, that has to drive you nuts.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, so he might be in some trouble. We'll see though. He also has a lot of money, so he may be able to get out of it.
Yeah,
but
hopefully.
For the most
part, I hope he can get out of it.
Yeah, I think he's a guy who shouldn't be in prison. He's a guy who should be out in the world and thinking of ways to make it better.
Yeah, because that's what he does. I would like to have a beer with Elon Musk and Brett Kavanaugh. That'd be a good party.
I wonder if Brett Kavanaugh likes beer though.
I don't think I have the video queued up anymore. Do I? No, I don't. I have his flatulence.
Yeah, that is funny. They took every time he said beer and they just basically put it into one clip.
I like beer. I liked beer. I still like beer.
Well, he came out like right off the bat. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, we were drinking beer and we weren't of age to drink it. The law was 18 at that point where he lived. You know, the legal drinking age. So." Like he's admitting to that. Maybe they should charge him with an underage. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be awesome. Dude, I don't know if him shotgunning a beer as he entered the chamber was in the best idea, but I respected his decision to do that.
Yeah, if he did that, or if someone like gave him a Smirnoff and touched him, he got down on a knee and chugged it. And he had to because that's the bro code.
Yeah,
if someone ices you got to chug it no matter where you are. Oh, dude, you know what he is? He
rip a bong on the way in.
I don't know if he was like a frat person. I don't know if he was in a frat or not. I have no clue. I didn't really. They never talked about it, and I would think he would if he went to Yale. I think they're all frat people.
Yeah,
like those Ivy League schools. But
that's Skull and Bones. And he's probably Skull and Bones. To be that powerful, he's probably Skull and Bones.
And the fact that no one there mentioned it, he probably is because they know not to mention it. I mean, the Bushes were. Yeah, I mean, it was John Kerry and Bush were running against each other for the president of the United States, and they were fraternity brothers. Like they were both in the same fraternity. So, how much influence do you think those people have?
Right.
This isn't like, oh yeah, you're frat at W&J College. This is the frat at the best, these Ivy League schools are supposed to be the best schools. They're producing the leaders of the free world. And this is the most exclusive fraternity basically on earth. I mean, essentially that's what these are. And these people, like that Skull and Bones fraternity, there's like a solid amount of people who are presidents who are in that.
Yeah, that fraternity is a secret society. I mean, every fraternity technically is a secret society, but Skull and Bones is like there's a little black hand involved with Skull and Bones. Like I don't think it's to the degree that like an Alex Jones would say, but
yeah, those people have serious connections.
Yes,
I mean, about as serious as you can get. Like whenever there's a bunch of you have two people from the fraternity running against each other, not for the president of the school, president of the United States.
Yeah,
the president of the free world. That's kind of ridiculous.
It is.
But yeah, he got iced when he went in, had to chug the Smirnoff, and then someone made him beer. What did he do?
Beer bong.
He did a beer bong.
He came in and they had the cups lined up, and he just took a ping pong ball, flicked it, big center cup, drained it. He's like, Feinstein, drink, bitch.
That's probably what he's doing tonight. He's probably like a raging alcoholic or something. Dude, and they're like, I like beer.
I like when they're like, what's the triangle? What's the devil's triangle? He's like, it's a drinking game.
Yeah, he's like, and the guy,
everything's drinking with you, dude.
Well, it was like all the stuff. It's all the like things. Like think about you're 16, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And, like,
what's asshole? It's a card game.
Yeah.
What about Captain Dickhead? Also a card game that you drink.
Yeah, it's drinking, not just a card game. But he's like, the senator's like, he's like, have you ever heard of quarters? And the senator, the guy wasn't that old either. He's like, no. He's like, I've never heard of it. He goes, well, it's just like that.
Yeah. The exact quote was, "It's just like that, pussy."
Yeah, man up, bitch.
What kind of parties did you go to?
I want to look that up to see what fraternity, if any. Those guys are all Yale guys.
Yeah,
Bushes, Carey, all of those guys are Yale guys.
Yep.
I bet you he did though.
And he was in with the Bushes too. So
yeah, I know he worked for the Bush administration. Whenever he was a scholar. I bet you he is. We're gonna have to look that shit up. I hate to. I feel like if I do anything on my internet while we're doing this, I always break up really bad. So I won't do it. But I bet you he is. That's my theory.
Here, I'll Google it. Entertain the crowd.
Yeah,
viewers.
Well, in other news, I mean, as far as that stuff, I mean that's regular news. But NFL season continues. Le'Veon Bell, as a Steeler fan, this is news for me. He still has not reported to camp. He's still not participating in games or practice yet. He's still sitting this one out, and it's actually caused a lot of issues in what people call Steeler Nation. James Harrison, a former Steeler, has been very critical of the Rooneys, and he also said that when Le'Veon Bell comes back, he should fake an injury, which is exactly what I said he was going to do. Which I think we're pretty much we can pretty much read the future. If you don't understand us by now, I can't help you.
Yeah.
So the Steelers don't have Le'Veon Bell, but they did get their first win. They beat Tampa Bay on Monday night, and they look like shit doing it. And they had a huge lead and almost lost the game. So they haven't really improved. But they did win, so that's good. Another big sports figure that we've been talking about a bit lately, Tiger Woodjaw.
Tiger Woodjaw.
He won the PGA. I think it's the FedEx. I don't know what the fuck they call it. He didn't win the FedEx Cup, which is like a combination of like the whole year's point total, but he won the final tour championship event, and it's his first win in I think 5 years or something.
Yeah.
And dude was pretty emotional about it. They were asking about it, and he was talking about the other guys that he's friends with on tour and how they know how much he's been through over the last several years with marital problems and other problems, which is obviously like probably, injuries and drugs and drinking and doing whatever. But it was kind of cool to see. I mean, it was just like the back in the heyday whenever the massive crowds were following Tiger. So I thought it was pretty fun. I mean,
that was number 80 for him, right?
That was number 80, the PGA Tour victory, number 80.
And he's still 4 off from Nichols.
I don't even know. He is pretty far off with what most people think is the big accomplishment, which is majors.
Right.
He still has a good bit of majors to go, I think.
And he's like 2 away from the lead in tournament events or pro
tour event.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what he is. I think the one, if he ever breaks it, which I don't know that he will. Like, I mean, he's missed 5 years of basically prime golf.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's golfed here and there, but he really hasn't golfed well.
Right.
Like for 5 years, he's barely participated for 5 years. So he's given up 5 years of his prime with all the shit that's gone on with him. So I don't know. I don't know how many tour events he needs, but I couldn't imagine him breaking it. He'd have to really go on a tear because he's no spring chicken. But he got some new trim.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's why he's playing better.
That's not the only hole he's hitting.
Yeah.
So,
she's okay with it though.
So BuzzFeed News
No boy, that's not a real reliable source. But go ahead.
The headline is the Yale Secret Society Brett Kavanaugh joined was mostly about drinking. Surprise, surprise.
Loves
Yale,
beers.
they said no skull and bones. So I don't think he was skull and bones, which kind of surprises me. I thought he would be.
But he had no
He was a Truth and Courage member.
Yeah, which I don't know what that is. Just they have weird names to those places, but they but he wasn't like a legacy. Like he didn't have any family there. And I'm sure to be in Skull and Bones, you pretty much have to be a legacy, not just of Yale, a legacy of Yale at Skull and Bones. Yeah, or Skull and Bones at Yale. So because old man Bush must have been.
Yeah, he was.
You know, if his kids got in there. So, dude, when you think about the extreme amount of power the Bushes have, someone told me this was years ago. This was, I don't know if Bush 2 may have been in there, W, but some financial guy that I dealt with for work related stuff. And he, I mean, he was a very wealthy guy. He said, and we somehow we were talking about rich people and the economy and bullshit. And he said, the richest people on earth are the Bushes. He's like, they have such wealth. You know, like they have these lists of Bill Gates. He's worth, you know, at that time, maybe $50 billion. He's like, dude, the Bushes, they're worth trillions. And I mean, when you think about it, if you had old money, established old money, how could Forbes ever really know what you have?
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's no way. You're saying, you know, Bill Gates or the guy from Amazon is the richest person in the world, which maybe they are now. I don't know. But you're telling me these Saudi sheiks and shit that have been getting trillions of dollars off the United States don't have more money than them? It would shock me because those people are taking all the money from their profit. You know, it's not like they're sharing it. You know? So it's for you to say, oh yeah, these two guys are the richest guys, but Jeff Bezos has only been around for a couple of years. People have been working on their fortune for way longer than him.
Yeah, they have whole countries to like siphon wealth off of.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Saudi Arabia is not a poor country.
No, not at all.
Siphon wealth off of, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the United States is at one time, I think it was around $700 billion a year just in the United States business with them and with oil. So,
right.
But that was a while ago too. It's probably way higher now. So, but yeah, so I don't know how we get back on this subject, but oh yeah, Skull and Bones. But yeah, so I don't know. I haven't really been watching much other than that. What about you? You been watching anything good?
I watched Goodfellas again the other day.
Oh man, you know, okay, I'm gonna be so pissed. Or I was so pissed. So did you watch that on like HBO or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw it was on. So I was like, hit record. I recorded it and went to bed or something.
Yeah.
My fucking power was out. So like I didn't know, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
So like the next day I'm eating dinner, but you know, I'm like, oh, I'll watch fucking Goodfellas. Put it on. I watch like almost an hour of it and then it stops. You know how bad that is? And I have it somewhere. It's on DVD somewhere in my house, probably in a fucking box somewhere. But I'm not digging it out.
I can't believe that did not win Picture of the Year.
What
I don't know
was
what
that?
movie could possibly be better.
What year was that?
The 93? That's what I'm thinking.
I think 94 was Unforgiven, which is also one of my favorite movies. So
yeah,
I don't know if it was the same year. What's that?
Did Clint Eastwood direct that?
Yeah, I think he directed it and he starred in it.
Yeah, that was like that was Western Clint Eastwood, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but it was such a good revenge story.
Yeah, no, that's a good movie.
Yeah, yeah, but it won Best Picture. Yeah, really.
1990.
Oh, so it was a couple years earlier. What won? Probably something stupid.
Yeah, I think it was a terrible decision actually.
Let me ask you something, since we're so PC anymore on the show.
Yeah.
L is for lesbian. Wait, hold on. LGBTQ. Is that what it is? Let me write this down. LGBTQ. Okay. Or that's a Q, not a G. Okay, so lesbian, gay.
Driving Miss Daisy. Sorry.
Driving Miss Daisy one. Wow, Goodfellas is way better than that.
Yeah. Stood up.
So this was kind of something that people also, I don't say the R word anymore.
Right.
And I'm also trying to establish other words I'm not allowed to say. So we have L is for lesbian, G is for gay, B is for bisexual, T is for transsexual, and Q is for
queer or questioning.
See that's now I'm questioning what it is. Because someone told me you're not allowed to say the word queer anymore.
Well, queer is
it can't be in there, and it can't be in that thing and me not be allowed to say it.
Well, it's like it doesn't. I guess like queer is closer to bi than anything because it's like you're slightly.
Is it? Yeah, I always just thought that was you're gay. I mean, it's the same thing to me, but maybe I don't know shit.
It's kind of like the old-fashioned use of the word queer. Like, yeah, it's kind of queer out. That's queer. Like, it's weird. It's bent. It's different.
Well, not that long ago. I mean, because I watch a lot of old fights and stuff on YouTube, boxing matches.
Yeah.
And it'll be like Jim Lampy, like some dude will take a big hit. He's like, oh no, he's on Queer Street. He lost his legs. He's on Queer Street. And I mean, they say it in all of them. Like that was a normal, what is Queer Street? And that, I guess
it's a weird street. It's like, it's not right. You're not,
you're not walking straight.
Yeah. It's not normal. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you put it? It's something that is unusual.
Yeah.
Is like the technical definition of it. That's why it got placed on that community because, this over here is queer. And then like, oh, you like boys, you're a boy. That's also kind of queer. So it just kind of took on that.
I have to look that up and see what it is. But are we allowed to say it? This is a question to you because I was told that you can't say that. You can't say that the people are queer.
I don't know. I don't know. But there are people that identify as queer. But did you get the rest of the acronym? Because I think you left a few letters off.
I just have LGBTQ.
What about the A?
A? What the hell is that for?
A is either asexual or ally. What about the I?
I have no clue what that is either.
That's intersectional or intersexual.
Okay.
You forgot the P.
What's that one for?
Pansexual.
Oh, that's not what I thought. There was another P.
And you forgot the plus sign.
What's the plus sign?
For other stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought there's
not a joke either. This is literally what it is now.
Yeah, and
LGBTQAIP plus.
Wow. I mean, and I can't say any of those words. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, queer,
you could say
questioning.
It starts getting. You could say questioning. It starts getting weird. Like if you say queer in the right sense, I think you're allowed to say it. I think if you
I can't say, dude, you're such a queer. That's wrong.
Yeah, you can't say that. That's wrong.
Now this is not me saying that Nick's a
you
queer.
Identify as queer. That's fantastic.
Okay, this is me not saying that Nick's a queer. Okay, just for the record, you're no queer, Nick. I'm just trying to make an example. I'm just trying to cover all my bases. So Nick,
if you were to ask me, do you identify as queer? Then that's acceptable.
And you would do. Okay. I got my answer.
But if you called me a queer, that would be unacceptable.
Okay. So you identify as a queer, but you don't want to be called one. All right, I got you, Nick. I got you figured out. And then there's also another P.
Is there two P's?
Yeah, for pedophile. Wasn't that one they wanted to be put on there? Or did they not make the list yet?
They haven't made the list yet. I don't think they've been fully accepted. But no, they don't want to be called P. They want to be called It's like MOP, isn't it?
It's like K for kid toucher.
No, it's like minor.
Minor, yeah, you're right. I did hear that
It's
somewhere.
minor something. Yeah.
Yeah, meaning they love minors. Well, what's that guy's name? Cody Wilson. He could join that group.
Yeah. Yeah, him and Jared from Subway.
I don't think you'll ever hear back from Cody Wilson. I think he's gone for good. I saw a funny meme. It was Bill Cosby and Jared from Subway, but it was just their heads on basically Morgan Freeman and what's the other guy's name from? They said Shawshank Redemption 2. Yeah, Tim Robinson. He's like Shawshank Redemption 2 looks awesome.
I like to say the sisters didn't get him. Or it'd be more like, I'd like to say that the sisters didn't get him, but they gave him the pudding pop.
Supposedly, Bill Clinton, not Bill Clinton, Bill Cosby got him. I see, I'm like losing it. I'm like, wait,
you mix your rapists up. I get it.
Yeah, Bill Cosby. This is what I saw on the news. First day in the joint, he got hit with an old stale hot dog bun, and he fell down a flight of stairs or something. Do you hear that?
No.
He's like walking down to like the mess hall or something. Someone throws this big, hard, stale hot dog bun, hits him in the head, and he falls down the end of the stairs.
Maybe it knocked his sight back into him.
No, you know what's ridiculous, Nick? When he was going in the trial, the motherfucker could barely move. They like were wheeling around. Whenever he left court, he was like practically running out of there.
Yeah.
Whenever they doing his perp walk, he looked completely fine. He looked like Bill Cosby from 1991. When they had him in there for the trial, he was obviously trying to get sympathy. Yeah. Now that he's busted, you know.
Well, he's in their bench. I'm needing that sympathy anymore.
Yeah, they said he's already been benching like 350. He's got his prison. He's putting on his prison muscles.
He has a big swastika tattoo. Since he's blind, he doesn't know that that's wrong.
I don't think he's blind either. I think it's all bullshit. I think that was all to get sympathy.
You think?
And I think 3 years for that, it's pretty light because he's probably going to do a year and a half.
Before he dies?
Yeah, but I mean, those kind of assholes live forever, it seems like. Look at OJ.
OJ, he had some thoughts about that, which I wish I would have pulled that audio, but...
About what?
Oh, I don't think he's going to get treated well in prison. He's like, he must have been crazy. Like, dude, you murdered 2 people. Like, you're talking about people being crazy. You literally butchered 2 people.
Yeah.
You didn't even try to hide it. You like threw socks and gloves everywhere. The only thing you hid was the knife, and you did a damn good job.
Yeah. Well, you know what he did? He stuck in his golf bag because he went on a trip. Then he flew somewhere and got rid of it in another city somewhere else.
Or he gave it to Kardashian because he gave him a bag. He gave him a bag of something.
Dude, there's a whole theory. I mean, I know we're going to get into serial killers, and I don't even know if this guy would make the list. But there was a serial killer who claimed to be the one that did that. But he claimed that, like, OJ paid him to go over there, maybe beat the guy up, and get, like, these diamond earrings and this jewelry that she had that he wanted back.
Yeah.
And the guy murdered them. And at his sentencing, his mother was wearing the necklace that he stole off Nicole Brown Simpson at her murder.
No shit.
And they showed video of it. And they showed video of him, pictures of Nicole Brown Simpson with it on.
Yeah.
And then at the sentencing video with his mom wearing it.
That's weird.
Dude,
I mean, that's
fucked up.
Are we doing serial killers this week? Is that the plan? Mass?
You know what? I don't know. We have like a list of things. You guys better text me and let me know because I'm like the worst.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out like next day or two because I'm excited for that one. I've been waiting for that one since I don't know July. Since Brett Kavanaugh initially got accused of rape, we just never heard of it.
Yeah, What we could do something because we have some easier ones. We could do an easy one for the first week of November. Maybe do serial killers second week, horror movies like third or fourth week. You know, you're building into it because serial killers has got to be one of our favorites of the month.
That's true. Yeah, we could do costumes first because we want to give the kids tips on what's going on.
Okay. What is that top 10 like costumes that we've ever seen?
Or just top 10 costumes in general.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or costume ideas. Okay.
Yeah. So we just picked the topic for Quaid's show. So there you go.
There you go, Quaid. He's not listening. No. How about well, we'll see what's going on. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been doing much.
How long before he gets accused of rape?
Quaid?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not livestock, I don't think livestock can talk because I think that's pretty much all he's getting his hands on these days.
His luck, he'll fuck Babe.
Yeah, he'll fuck a pig that can actually talk.
That'll do, pig.
I've done it before.
Thank you, mister. What?
Yeah. Well, he hangs around them Amish. They do some crazy stuff.
He's defensive about the Amish, man.
Dude, he's like best friends with them. He's practically half Amish himself.
He's looking at. Yeah, me and our other buddy Marshall pissed him off a couple times talking about the Amish.
He's tight with him. I mean, he drove all the way to Kentucky to go to an Amish wedding for his buddy that he grew up with.
He drove. He drove across the country multiple times with Amish people. So that's what he used to do in his summers. He'd take a cross country trip with him.
Okay, then he shouldn't be allowed to have that beard, right? Because they're not allowed to have beards until they get a woman.
He's not Amish.
Yeah, I know, but he wants
lives
to
in
be.
Amish country.
He wants to be, obviously.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk shit on him just to see if he responds on Tuesday because I don't think he listens to this show.
I don't either. He's a fucking asshole.
I don't think he listens to the Tuesday show.
I don't think so either. Not anymore. He asked me if it still sounded good. Like, you can listen.
Yeah.
but
yeah.
This show should have a good month too in October because we're getting Part Ace back, and I think Tom Ritchie's gonna come back on. That went pretty well.
That's cool. Yeah.
So we'll have two pretty solid interviews next month, and make it for our lackadaisical September.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's time to wrap it up, man. We've definitely hit it for a long time.
Yeah, we hit it for a long time both times this week. So I'm good. I don't have much else to say. It's been a shit show, though. I mean, if you ever want to see what the hell your government is doing and with their elected officials, just go YouTube some of this Kavanaugh hearing and hear idiots talk.
And if you ever pulled your dick out at any point in time, don't even bother running.
Yeah. Well, I don't think based off of their standards of burden of proof or whatever, there's not even any proof, but they still have gone to this extent with this. And I don't necessarily, and they said it's setting a bad precedent for no matter who is getting because people aren't going to want to put themselves through that. You're telling me, some person could come out of the woodwork that you really didn't even know.
Right.
And you have to have your life trashed just to prove them wrong. No, you're going to lose a lot of good people for the Supreme Court if you do it that way. So,
or any other public office, because it won't stop there.
Oh yeah, it's just going to snowball and get worse for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And by snowball, you mean get bigger, not like spitting the semen back into the end.
Yeah, no, I mean get bigger. I mean like a snowball rolling down the hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Have a good one.
Yep.